welcome to the 6th annual virtual Interfaith Solidarity March, coming to you live from beautiful Los Angeles.
The last few years have been very difficult for our nation and the world on many levels. Most recently, our challenge has been to survive a global pandemic, but we are still reeling from issues like racism, anti-Semitism, and unchecked hyper-nationalism leading to January's assault on the Capitol building, among others. And around the world, such nations like Myanmar, China, and India, among others, continue to deal with genocides, ethnic cleansing, and tyrannical assaults on democratic regimes.
When I look at the world, we need to bring about the healing and have the leadership that can say, in the midst of a pandemic that has impacted the entire world, this is the time for tolerance. This is the time for all of us to come together.
We need that peace. We need that unity. We need freedom more than ever before. And it's clear that we live in a world, unfortunately, where xenophobia and where racism are still ingrained in our society and in our institutions.
Relationship between law enforcement and our communities after the George Floyd incident. It's so purposeful and critical for this march to be today at this time when we have a trial that everybody across this nation is watching and listening and hoping for accountability and praying for peace in our communities.
I'm learning to let my mind wander to the things of the Trinity, to black doves anointing with fire, to black people cleansing their cities with flames. Their ashes find a way to the page where I coat their skin in dark ink, where I struggle to immortalize for their struggle to watch them return to dirt for the earth, just like my mama preached. Remember, you are dust, and to dust you shall return.
Everyone and everything exists in a state of relationship. People, animals, every living thing, and even that which to the mind of Western civilization is not living, winds, rocks, and the stars and planets of the cosmos.
Hinduism views the universe as a family, or in Sanskrit, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Our shared divinity brings forth the reality of our equal worth as members of humankind. And all of us, because we are believed to be the most spiritually evolved, carry a special responsibility to honor the equal worth of all people and the underlying unity of existence through our relationship with ourselves, with one another, and with Mother Nature.
If we don't have it within ourselves, then how can we express it to others? And that's, I think, all faiths message is that inner peace, and has a path to inner peace.
We in the Jewish world have known for several thousand years that the selfishness and materialism that is inherent in class societies with its unequal distribution of wealth and well-being, and patriarchal societies undermines the capacity of people to be caring for each other.
The research has shown that societies that promote religious freedom and multi-faith living typically have the greatest peace and security, they have the greatest gender equality, they have the greatest business innovation and economies. And so we want to share these positive outcomes of religious freedom and interfaith understanding.
You don't have to give up your faith. You don't have to compromise what you believe. Instead, you're looking for those core things that you're taught in your faith that cause you to live in a very unique way, that gives you the ability to reach out to your neighbor. And in Christianity, the scriptures say even our enemies. Now, I'm sorry to say we don't always love our enemies like Jesus said.
For me, it's not so much about what I bring to our friends behind the wall, but what they bring for me, and how we make that connection in the human heart. I like to say that no matter who we are or where we've been or what we've done or had done to us, no one is beyond the grace and love of God.
Over the last 16 weeks at Costa Care Foundation, we have prepared and packed over 178,000 hot meals for homeless shelters and low-income families. And through our partnership with the Mayor's Office and the Department of Disability, we are now serving people who are handicapped or disabled.
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I said it's alright. It's alright.
So, if we really want to heal the nation and the world, it's going to require some real soul searching and even some recognition of where we have done wrong, both in our communities and in our own lives. Every one of us, if we search our hearts, will be able to find some situation where we could have done better. And knowing that we are imperfect and owe someone an apology or a debt of gratitude for their forgiveness should help us to remember the shared humanity of others and the need to try to understand their unique situation and specific lived experiences. If we remember the common humanity of every person, we will be better able to work with them toward reconciliation and possibly understand where we may have harmed someone else. If we are going to have real dialogue and embody real tolerance, we are going to have to really talk with people whom we never thought we would have contact with, sometimes even folks that we thought we hated. With that in mind, our team has made a concerted effort to include voices that we thought were either uninterested in being part of the interfaith discussion, or those whom we, such as the more conservative factions, as Dr. Bob Roberts had mentioned, or those whom we often see as representatives of authority and establishment, such as law enforcement. If we are going to truly make progress and heal the nation and the world, we are going to have to sit down with those whom we think we could never get along with and really listen and ask them to listen too. Now, does this mean that we will always be able to reach every person or every faction that seeks to do us harm or sets themselves up as our adversaries? No, I'm not that naive or unrealistic to think that we can change the heart of a Hitler with just a few hugs and a heartfelt chat over dinner. But if we celebrate the common humanity in all people and reach out to those we think are against us, we will find that when it really counts, many of them will have our backs, and we will be able to join together to prevent a Hitler from coming to power, or from gaining traction among people who are on the fence, or who just haven't taken the time to see the humanity of the factions, races, or religions that are being marginalized and oppressed.